Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news-making headlines today. President Lee Jae-myung, who is on a state visit to the United Arab Emirates, held a summit with UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in Abu Dhabi on Tuesday. The two leaders agreed to expand bilateral cooperation across various areas, with a focus on AI, defense, energy, and the space industry. 7 MOUs were signed following the hour-long talks. In particular, Korea aims to boost defense industry cooperation with the UAE, moving beyond exports by pursuing joint development and local production, a shift expected to pave the way for securing defense projects worth over $15 billion. President Lee Jae-myung attended a Korea-UAE joint cultural performance at the Middle Eastern nation's presidential palace on Tuesday. The program featured Korean traditional music, K-pop, and a performance by soprano Sumi Jo, along with the UAE traditional Al-Ola dance, a UNESCO-listed intangible cultural heritage. About 300 guests were in attendance, including President Lee, First Lady Kim Hye-kyung, and senior UAE officials. Seoul's presidential office voiced hopes that the successful joint performance will further deepen mutual friendship and trust, strengthening the two countries' strategic partnership. More than a decade since foreign private equity fund Lone Star first filed a lawsuit against the South Korean government, the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes has announced a final ruling in favor of Seoul. The center canceled a ruling from 3 years ago, which had originally ordered the government to pay roughly $210 million to Lone Star. The lawsuit goes back more than 13 years when private equity fund Lone Star filed a $4.6 billion compensation claim against the Korean government in 2012. Lone Star had purchased Korea Exchange Bank in 2003 and sold it for a profit 9 years later, but then filed a lawsuit claiming government interference prevented it from selling at a higher price. South Korea's ambassador to the United States says Seoul will keep working to secure U.S. support for its North Korea policy through close communication with Washington. This came as Ambassador Kang Kyung-hwa held a media conference with Korean correspondents on Tuesday local time in Washington, D.C. Kang said Seoul aims to act as a pacemaker with the United States as a peacemaker, to set the stage for inter-Korean talks in U.S.-North Korea dialogue. Regarding South Korea's construction of a nuclear-powered submarine, Kang said the matter was clearly discussed during the summit between Presidents Lee Jae-myung and Donald Trump, and with their firm determination on the issue. Any disagreements within the Trump administration or future procedural matters are not expected to pose major problems. The South Korean men's national football team closed out the year with a narrow 1-0 win over Ghana on Tuesday, in their final match of 2025. At the friendly played in front of more than 33,000 fans at the Seoul World Cup Stadium. Defender Lee Tae-seok delivered the only goal of the night with a header in the 63rd minute. Despite the victory, South Korea's performance was considered lackluster against 73rd-ranked Ghana. The national team finishes the year with 8 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.